was like the first time Kobe told me, he was like, people always tell you, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But what if you could just make some more eggs? I'm just gave y'all the key to life. Put all them eggs in one basket and then go get some more eggs.
What's up? How you guys doing? We're back again with a new video. This one was the one I promised a few days ago about kind of explaining everything where I've been over the last few, I would probably say the last 2 years. Before we do start though, I do want to ask if you could like and subscribe, hit the video if this is on YouTube, if this is Facebook, anywhere else that you might be seeing the video. Share it please, helps out a lot with the algorithm, just making sure everybody can see it and making sure that everybody can interact with the video. So in 2018, we're talking close to 6 years ago now, right? Yeah, closer to 6 years. I'm doing shows and we're recording various singles. At this point, I'm on SoundCloud. I'm really experimenting with my sound and trying to figure out, how I want to sound and how I want to present myself. I was also in college at the time, and I was doing a lot of acting. I was doing a lot of stage acting, and I was crushing it in those aspects, and it was a lot of fun. I had put also my last song on SoundCloud. I got to a point where I kind of hated just being on SoundCloud and not available everywhere else. It was already a hassle to get people to listen to the music. Now I had to get them to download a whole nother app, and it was just like a miscommunication between music and consumer. So I wanted to clean that up as much as possible. Up until this point, I had done about 39 songs on SoundCloud, and I wanted to make the switch. So around this time is where I kind of started looking into Spotify, Apple Music, TuneCore, and DistroKid, and kind of navigating my way through that. Unfortunately, through this time as well, both of my parents had gotten sick with cancer. It was a really tough time for me mentally, and it was a tough time for my family as a general, just because it was kind of just like one after the other. We really weren't expecting it. Through this, I was trying to stay inspired and trying to keep moving forward. I had this really cool idea of putting together a music festival. Initially, I had gotten this idea just because a lot of the venues in my area weren't doing hip-hop shows anymore. And it kind of sucked if you're a hip-hop artist, right? So I wanted to start a platform where I could, put on music festivals for artists, rent out a space. I had most of the equipment myself, or I was gonna rent it out and, put on a music festival. It was really cool. We had made flyers. We had got on a radio station to kind of promote it, to get people to come out. We were selling tickets. It was really going really well. We had some artists from Boston coming out, so that was really sick. And then they brought some people down to go see them. For never have doing anything like that in my life, it was really cool. And I could say that I put on my own music festival. It was called the Persona Arts Music Festival. I'll probably have something in the background of the flyer, like pictures of from time when that was going on. So right after the music festival, unfortunately, my dog Lucky had passed from a rare illness. This was also a major hit, especially right after my parents getting sick. They're both really fun now, which is really awesome. But at the time, it was kind of like a compound event. So that was kind of my 2018. There was a lot of highs and lows, and I kind of was just ready for the next year. Going into 2019, finishing up school at this point, but it was a lackluster semester for me feeling-wise. I was just not in it. I just wanted to be done. Like I said, I had kind of all that baggage from the prior year, and I was ready to transition. I'm doing shows a lot more consistently now, and I kind of had a loose plan to move to LA in the summer of 2020. I was going to move to LA and start my career, because you want to be where the location's at. So I was going to be doing acting and music out there. So now I start building trains at a facility in Springfield to save up money. And I was also at this time really heavily getting my album ready for release. At this point in 2019, the album I was working on is All in My Head. I'll try to put something up again. It was a really cool album. It had everything that I wanted on there. It had skits, really good raps, really good melodies and everything like that through the album. And it was just a really cool experience to really put that together and not just make singles. Because at this point I was just putting out singles and just seeing how they were doing. And I really fell in love with this process, and I just wanted to keep making albums right after this. In 2020, I was getting my album ready for release, and I was working with an artist named Dylan Reese, and we wanted to make sure that the album had a really good rollout. He was mentoring me at the time, so we took our time to really map out a roadmap to make sure that the album could do as well as it could. So in 2020, that started in January. I dropped the song called Ruckus, which is one of my most popular songs amongst people. It went crazy. It started to explode. We were hitting up some playlists, and then the people on the playlist were liking them, saving the song. It was a really good jump out there. And then next, in February, we dropped Money Prancin', which is another single off the album. I was doing a lot more shows now at this time. My buzz, so to speak, was really going really well. I had plans to book the Carnival, which was the following month or 2 months after that year, and then we were even planning an Eastern tour, like Boston, Rhode Island, Connecticut, like that. So that was happening around February of 2020, and I think we all know where this is going, right? So then in March we dropped Locomotive, and then everything else happened with COVID, and we shut down. So all of my plans went kaput. No more Carnival, no more tour speak. So that really sucked, but I wanted to make sure I could keep moving. This was one of the instances where I was like, I gotta push through adversity and I can't just stop now. So then in April, the following month, we continued with the plan. We dropped the album. Everybody was inside anyway, so listen to music, right? Album did well. To say the least, I think I did 100,000 streams or 156,000 streams on the album overall. At some point, I stopped counting. I think around 6 months after the album, I stopped counting the total streams. It's probably a little bit more now. It's a couple years after, but that was a huge accomplishment at the time. Yeah. So the rest of the year was not great with COVID. Everyone kind of had their own experience with that, but I wasn't really sure what was going to be left over for me art-wise in terms of, will movie theaters be open? Will concerts even happen anymore? All those kind of thoughts were going through my head. Luckily, we made it out of COVID. Everything was great. I had released several more singles, trying to kind of wait out the rest of the year to see what was going on. But during this time, I was formulating another album. Now, I was really sad. It was made during my last semester of school when I was having that tough time, but I never kind of put them together into an album. I kind of did that during this time because I had a lot of extra time on my hands. The initial plan was drop All in My Head, do as well as it did, and then in the summer do the tour, and then at the end of the tour move to LA. That was kind of like the process. I would have momentum and we kind of keep going there. So when that didn't happen, I said, well, I guess we'll start getting the next album ready. But I wanted that album to be dropped when I was in LA. It was like a whole thing. So we were recording that. We're making sure that that's all set up, and we were getting ready to drop that. At the end of the year, we went through a similar process with dropping a song here and there, to build anticipation for the album. The only thing is, at the end of the year 2020, what I like to call the Great Playlist Purge happened. Spotify made sure that they wanted no more botting to be happening amongst their playlists. So they cut millions of playlists across the board on their platform, including real playlists, bot playlists. They were just not having it. And that kind of destroyed a lot of momentum that artists were using to get into new listeners' ears, because it was all about the playlist at one point. You wanted people to save to your playlist so that your song would keep coming up, the algorithm would see that other people like your song. It's kind of like any other social media platform. So that happened, and it kind of threw everything off again, and I didn't really know how to navigate at this point. COVID was here, but it was gone. The way I was putting out music was kind of broken. I wasn't going to work, and I didn't know which direction to go in. So in 2021, like I said, the purge happened at like December, right in the middle of the album release. So the promo for the album pretty much stopped. I tried to continue it, but it wasn't having the same motion as it was before. So in 2021, I wanted to change my focus to film. I had put a lot of focus on music in the last 2 years prior to this, just because I had so much momentum, and I kind of wasn't focused on film and theater and directing and stuff. So I wanted to switch that. So in 2021, I was like, I'm making a film or I'm making a TV series or something. That's what I wanted to do. So I started thinking about how I was going to do this, and I hit up a fellow friend, and I said, hey, let's do this. So we partnered up, and we kind of brainstormed for a while, and we decided we were going to do a TV show, 5 episodes, and it was going to be, it was actually going to be a Miles Morales short film, just because short series. Spider-Man was really big at the time, and we both love Spider-Man. We're like, why don't we do this? I was going to be more grounded, more gritty. It was going to be really sick. So we decided to do this. We had 5 episodes written. We casted everything. It was going really well. Ultimately, the project didn't end up going to fruition. There was a lot of conflict behind doors, and ultimately it led to my homie leaving the project, and it was just too much on me to direct, write, be in it, get everybody ready, at least at the time. I think now if I had to do it, I could do it, but I was going into the process with 2 people in mind at the helm, so I kind of like formulated everything, and ultimately it was just too much for me to do it once and for it to come out with the quality that I wanted, and quality is super important to me. So I dissolved the project, which really sucked. It's another low point where I wasn't sure where I was headed, and I put so much time and energy. Like, I spent the whole year working on this project. It was gonna drop in 2022. We were gonna crowdfund, try and get more money to make it bigger and better. But yeah, the music didn't work out the last few years. This didn't work out. I lost some money, and I was also getting ready to leave the train job because I was working 6 days a week, like 10, 12 hours, and it was taking up too much time, and I just needed to get out of there. So a lot of change was happening. I ended up quitting my job at the train place. This TV show didn't work out, and I ended up bouncing between jobs for a little bit, and we'll get to that next. But before that, at the end of the year, I almost forgot. I was looking at my notes. At the end of the year, we got offered a new business opportunity. I was going to pay $10,000 to direct a VR program to help police officers with intense situations. So I took that opportunity, and my initial thought was, I can launch my creative career off this $10,000. I was like, I don't know what it's going to take, but I'm going to do it. So we're moving into 2022, and this was the most difficult year financially and creatively for me. And then this kind of the year that made me take the break that I've been on for the last 2 years. So, like I said, I was bouncing between different jobs. None of them were working out. Some of them ended up being scams, and that sucked. So I was like, you know what? We're going to go full-time creative. We're going to drill down the creative project. I'm going to get my money, and we're going to go from there. So I ended up filming some stuff for the VR video, but then when we had to go send them off so they can get put into 3D, so we can see how they came out in case I had to reshoot, we ended up coming into some hiccups, and those hiccups lasted a while. So I just kept on pursuing things. So the next thing that ended up running into my plate was a hip hop group. It was a bunch of artists. We all kind of got together. It was one artist that brought us all together, and we were gonna move as a unit and try and put on the best show that we could. That didn't go according to plan. I think everybody was kind of moving. We all were on the same page, but we were all trying to go in different directions. And I think that's kind of where that failed. We didn't really have a direction, and it was a little scatterbrained. If I could do it again, I 100% would. It's just, I think at the time when we all met each other, it just wasn't the perfect time. That's all that comes down to it. All great, amazing artists. Yeah. Next, I was going to refocus back onto film after working with the creative group, and I was just gonna do it by myself, but I was gonna do short films. I'm talking like 3 minutes at a time, just to get the camera work ready and to understand the process, so I can go from beginning to end, so I can succeed even if I fail. Going back to like the beginning of the video, right? So, one of my lights just died. Give me 1 second. Still looks okay. So, where was I? I'll have to charge that after. Hopefully this one doesn't go, so I think I'm gonna hurry up a little bit. So I was starting to work on short films on my own. We wanted to do them short, 2-3 minutes, like I was saying. And the day I went to go film, I went to go turn my camera on, and it wouldn't turn on. Changed the battery, wouldn't turn on. I'm doing all these things. I'm on YouTube for hours, nothing's working. Send the camera off. In about a week's time, they call me back and they say the motherboard's fried and the battery's fried, like the receptors. So my camera's dead. It's a block. And that was the hair that broke the camel's back. Like I said, at that point, I was taking a lot of losses. But when my camera didn't turn on, I spent so much money on that camera for the TV show that didn't happen. It was a lot of compound issues, right? And when this camera died, a little bit of me died too. You know, not to be dramatic, but it was a hit. I had told myself I was going to take a break and reset. I didn't know how long the break was going to be, but I knew I couldn't just go on another leap or go on another risk, right? So I said, let me wait for the creative project to be done. Let me heal in between, right? Lick my wounds, and then once this project's done, we hit the ground running. I ended up getting another job that I hated. I was a salesman, door-to-door salesman. I absolutely hated it, but I was good at it. So I did that for a while until I could hear back from the VR project. Eventually, we hear back from the VR project, right? And it ends up getting dissolved. Project had ran out of time. There were too many technical issues. Nothing I could control. It was gone. And that sucked too. Because my backup plan was gone, right? The net was snatched underneath me, and I didn't really have a direction, an answer. I didn't have questions. I was just existing at that point, and I just wanted things to start getting better. Because I was like, what happened, you know? So then, right, we start 2023. And I just wanted to get out of the position that I was. I started grinding at this job that I hated, became one of the best salesmen in the room, started digging myself out from the bootstraps, as they say, right? I ended up getting a new puppy this past year. His name is Lycan. He's a pain in my ass, but he's the Siberian Husky I've always wanted. I had a golden retriever before. I was lucky. And we replaced the camera. This is the camera that I'm filming on. This camera is way more expensive than my last one, but it's also way better in quality. So, it's a mini film camera. It's a Blackmagic, so everything coming out of this should be super crispy. And then, so after I kind of got back on my feet, I had to leave that job because it was taking up too much of my time. 6 days a week. If I didn't meet my quota, and trying to meet my quota was stressful enough, and I was like, I'm good. So left that job, ended up getting a new one, and it's just super flexible. They let me take the time off that I need to go do things or work around my schedule, and it's just a good fit for what I'm trying to do. So boom, 2024, here we are. I had wrote the script for this video actually back then because I thought I was going to start recording and putting out content. But it turns out I wasn't ready, and I knew that if I started at that point, I was going to stop, and that wasn't something that I wanted to do. during that period of time, I had actually ran into another opportunity for an acting agency. And, I jumped on it as much as I could because I needed that. I needed a break. I needed a door, something to help me come out of the slump that I had been in. So I applied for it. They had sent me out like an open call. So I went out to Connecticut, drove out there, Dolo, waited in line. I had an interview with them. I was sweating. My back was soaked. And I was just like trying to stay calm. So I wanted it so bad. I was like, please, I just need this to work. So I had a conversation with them. It was lovely. They said I'd hear back in about a month and a half if I would get a call back. And about a month and a half on the dot, I got a call back. I was working at the time, and they said that they wanted me to send in some materials, monologue. I'd done a commercial a couple years ago, so they wanted me to send in that and record everything. So I didn't have a monologue memorized. It's been a while since I've been in theater books. So that night I ended up looking up a monologue from the notebook. I memorized it over the next work day, and then that night I came home from work and immediately recorded it. I had a couple hours, and it's funny enough, my camera only had a couple battery left on it because I just finished filming something else that's coming out that you guys will see. But my battery didn't have much juice on it, so I had to film it quick, which didn't help. I couldn't find my auxiliary cord to plug it right into the wall. It was this whole thing. Sent it off to them. They said I hear back in about a week. In about a week on the dot, I get an email, and when I saw the email, I knew it wasn't a call. I was a little sad, but we didn't end up getting it. But like I said, at this point, I have a new frame of mind, and they just told me to reapply in 4 months. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna reapply, and I'm gonna just stay on them until they see me, because they're gonna have to see me. So after that opportunity kind of ended, and then I ended up getting next Top Hitmaker opportunity, which I'm currently in a music competition right this second. I'm probably gonna put the link in the description. Go down, please vote for me. You don't have to donate, you get a free vote every day. This opportunity could change my life, and it's really all up to you guys. And I'm just excited as you are, so please go down and vote. I'm going to be dropping a lot of content over the next few weeks as this content's happening to prove to you guys that I really want this and that I deserve this, so I can keep going bigger and better with everything. So now that we're here, let's talk about what's next, right? So I have a short film that I am in the middle of currently editing that's going to be coming out, and then I have another short film that is casted that I have to have a meeting about, and that'll be out shortly. As far as remixes, I just put out a remix from One Train by A$AP Rocky. That's going to be up on the YouTube, and that should be up on streaming services next Friday as well. And then I have another written remix that I haven't recorded yet that I will get on as soon as I finish editing this video and the short film. There's a lot of things coming that will come out. I just need your guys' love and support. Share every video, like every video, hit the bell icon on YouTube so when I upload you guys can see it. All of that takes 2 seconds for you, and it seems so insignificant, but it really does help out me and the future of me being able to continue making content production, because I will go 100% full-time with this whenever I can, because I love doing this. All right, so yeah, that's kind of everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. Don't let any of your past failures stop you from succeeding and continuing on. A lot of times they're just small lessons that we had to learn in order to get to where we needed to be. Again, like, subscribe, comment, share the video. All of that's up to you to help me, and then in return I will deliver some really great stuff. But I appreciate you all. I'm gonna get out of here. I have a lot of editing to do, and I'll see you next time.